You're now tuned into Thorough Black Talk with Tad, Keisha, and Ashe. Every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Don't forget about our sister station, Constructive Talk Radio, Tuesdays, 8 to 10 p.m.
What's up? What's up? What's up, family? Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk Radio with your brother Tad, your sister Keisha, and your brother Ashe SJ. Hopefully, will be joining us a little shortly. But I am excited to get into tonight's program. You know, a lot of things have been happening this week. Me and brother Tad, I guess we had the same idea to put it on our New York style today because we had to go straight New York style today because I don't know.
We should have worn
a lot of shenanigans happening. Huh?
We should have worn Brooklyn hats.
We should have. But I am definitely rocking the Thorough Black Talk. I'm telling you, I'm rocking it. I'm rocking the Thorough Black Talk. So hopefully, family, you'll be able to get your merchandise soon. Hopefully, we'll have it all fixed and worked out, and so you guys can have it for Kwanzaa gifts. You know, that Thorough Black Talk, we on the move with us, or be run over. Brother Tad, how has your week been thus far, my brother?
Oh, my week has been good, you know, battling the new pundits who don't understand how the election process go. You know, people are talking about why the sitting duck is not conceded, and I'm telling folks that, you know, this is a war strategy. You know what I'm saying? This is chess. And he has people in place to make his moves. So, you know, I'm just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the show. That's about it.
I know. I see you've been teaching them. You've been trying to teach them on social media. I'm watching.
You know what? And I can't be casting my pearls to swine because, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge is for those who can appreciate it and accept it. You know, people got strong opinions and weak facts. And I just go straight to the sites. I give people the rules to the game, you know. I tell folks it's like a game of spades, you know. If you invite me to your house for a card game, I play by the house rules. I don't play a game unless I know the rules. So sure enough, as we tell people to go vote and get involved in the election process, they really need to know how deep this rabbit hole go, because it's only the past couple of years that people have been talking about the Electoral College, understanding that that's who selects the president, not the popular vote. Because how many years have we been trying to educate people on the Electoral College? But now we got to peel back the layers. Now that you understand that there is an electoral college that picks the president and not the popular votes, now you got to understand how the process really works and how election day is just a day for people to cast their votes. And that every candidate has the opportunity to file a lawsuit within the courts, within the federal courts, to contest anything. You have between, I believe, the 8th and the 14th to file your claim. And then even after you file your claim, you still got, I believe, up to January 20th for them to make a decision on who actually is the president. So Donald Trump already know the rules to the game, and people are not understanding that he's playing by the rules. Folks are just learning what the Electoral College is, but they don't even understand who makes up the Electoral College. It can be from your local council person to the public school janitor can be on the Electoral College. And you don't have to be part of any party. But of course, this rabbit hole goes deep, and it goes to a conversation that our folks are really not ready for, you know, because unfortunately, people don't read. You know, remember I said a couple of years ago, we watch them long born documentaries and we read them thick tail books. We we do the hard work so we can bring it to you, so at least you're not confused. Because just like with any game that we participate in, when these folks don't like somebody getting advantage over them, they change the rules to the game. Whether it's sports, whether it's law, whether it's politics, we see it all the time. Once Black people started arming themselves, we see that they started amending the Second Amendment, start changing laws. So hold up, we can't have Black folks with guns. That's crazy. And that was during the Panthers. So that's many of our family members' lifetime that can remember when the Panthers were going around walking with their guns out openly, because they were within their right. They wasn't just a radical group. They were people who studied the law. They knew the law. And because they knew the law, the system decided they was going to change the law. Same thing going on with this election. We're living in a new world right now. We're living in new times. in the 90s when we was talking about the New World Order and the Illuminati. Welcome to the New World. This is it. This is it. Things are shut down.
That's right. Behold that pale horse.
Behold the pale horse. That's right. Called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Read that chapter. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. This is a quiet war going on. And y'all don't understand. And they're using silent weapons. And COVID is one of those weapons. Because I don't know how a paper mask really supposed to stop the world's most deadly virus. And not even a paper mask. Any mask. You just walk in like this. And that's going to protect you. That's going to save you. I don't know. I'm just here with everybody else. But yeah, that's how my week is going, sis. How have you been? I'm just saying, though. You know? I'm just saying.
My brother keep it 100 all the time. I love it. I love it.
Arsenio had that segment, things that make you go, Come on. Many people don't know who Dr. Fauci is. Many people don't know that Dr. Fauci worked with Dr. Robert Gallo.
Come on.
Who was the person who's responsible for putting out the AIDS virus. They had
Come
a
on.
patent on the AIDS virus. And in fact, I was doing some research and found out that there was a patent on COVID-19 back in 2015.
Come on, brother.
Wait, sis, remember when there was the measles outbreak here in New York, particularly Brooklyn, and they were putting it on the Jews, saying they had to get mandatory vaccinations. Remember I said they're getting ready to hit us with something. I said because the Jews have one of the strongest religious foundations to stand on for exemption of vaccinations. I said if they can make the Jews get vaccinated, nobody else has a leg to stand on. And here comes COVID-19, right behind that pseudo measles outbreak. Because remember, our position is, if everybody got vaccinated for the measles, how are we in harm's way? We vaccinated. We should be all right.
Yeah.
But of course, the propaganda campaign. And since when have they started putting out vaccines in less than 12 months? They haven't even seen what the long-term effects would be for us taking these vaccinations. And remember, a couple of years ago, all of us was watching the documentary Vaxxed. And we swore vaccinations like, yo. Now we rush into it, but I'm sorry. Salute to everybody.
No, you telling the truth.
I see our family in here, Farnessa, our brother Kev, our big brother Salih Rowe.
Yeah.
All the people rocking with us. Sister Marie.
Peace
to everybody.
Speaking of Salih, you can get those I Love Black People t-shirts from my brother Salih Rowe. Hit him up on Facebook or Instagram. Tell him the Thorough Black Talk sent you. And definitely get your t-shirts because we coming up on holiday season. You know, some of us, our folks, celebrate all of that stuff. You know what I mean? To each his own. That's how I see it.
On here one day.
Yeah, we gotta get Brother Salih. You gotta come through. You gotta come through, Brother Salih. We're putting you on a hot seat right now. That's how we do. We coming gangster. For real. So yes, you could definitely follow my brother Salih Rowe. Get your I Love Black People t-shirts because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but I follow a lot of the DJs and we've been, you know, interacting. And one of the things that these guys are talking about is as long as they're wearing athleisure wear, they want to keep it black. Right. And so everybody who has an apparel line out right now, you know, you should be pushing those Kwanzaa sales right now. You should have sales going on everywhere. You know, now is not the time to be greedy. These sales should be going on right now so you could clear out your inventory. And next week when we come back, I'm going to teach you how to do that because it's about time, as my brother Tad and others teach financial literacy. I'm going to teach you how to get the best for your buck, especially when it comes to apparel and footwear. So again, family, if you have an apparel line, if you want us to advertise your line, you want to send us one of your shirts, one of your hats, whatever you got, let us know. Shoot us a message and we'll try to work it out. Or if you want a monthly advertisement on our platform, we can work that out with you as well. So get ready. But yes, I am excited. I had a great week thus far. I got a lot of bike riding time in this week. I found some new stuff in Brooklyn, Brother Ty. I gotta tell you about it. Okay. But anyway, I'll tell you about it offline. But yeah, so doing that and getting some research done because I've got access to some great information. I'm excited. Anybody knows me, I'm a serious researcher. So when I get a box of stuff, I just start shaking. I get the crack shakes. So I'm excited. I'm gonna get into that. And also, family, a shout out to my swap sisters in the building. I see you, Yaz, Tashima, Natasha, Kim, Lisa, Tawa, Takia, Shamik. As a matter of fact, Brother Tad, Thanksgiving, we will be down at the Staten Island Ferry on your side.
Hello.
Feeding the homeless. So if you want to come through, family, and help swap, feed the homeless, holla at your girl. Send me an inbox on the swap page, and we'll definitely give you the details how you can donate. We have a big feast planned to feed homeless people in New York City at the Staten Island Ferry this Thanksgiving afternoon. So look out for swap. We'll be out there. Excuse me. My brother Ashe, who hopefully will be in here a little later, also has some things working. And I'm sure he's going to want to discuss that. Again, you can always catch Brother Tad on Facebook and Instagram, Better Days Ahead Fitness.
Yep.
I'm telling y'all, I'll be out there. Listen, it's this little old white dude. He got to be about 75, 80. I'm telling you, he be out there every day running. Every day running with a purpose. But then sometimes, Brother Tad, I take the long route around the Belt Parkway, and I come off Pennsylvania, and I pass CCC Church, and I look at our people. Some of them look younger than we are, with walkers and canes. What are you really gearing up for? This weekend, the 14th, yesterday is the 12th. Yes, yeah. This weekend, this Saturday, is the Million MAGA March in DC. Right. So they're already on the road from near and far headed toward DC this weekend. So to the family out there in DC, y'all watch your back, your front, and your side, because they definitely going to be out there. We want to give a shout out to our viewers who come in every week. New York still a top market. St. Louis, we got Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, we got Tampa, we got B Moore in the building. PA. Shout out to Pam Africa and the crew. She was out there with Immortal Technique and Brother Rasa Khan. They was handing out meals, prepackaged meals to the people out there in Philly. So shout out to them. They did that early this morning. To our brothers and sisters in DC, in Dallas, in Chi-Town. Thank you for always tuning in. Those of our brothers and sisters across the water, near and far, in South Africa, Nigeria. Hold strong, hold the line. United Kingdom, yeah, we out there too. Our brothers and sisters in Uganda, Jamaica, Ghana, Trinidad, and Tobago. We even got viewers in the Netherlands. Shout out to y'all. Also, our viewers in Kenya. Those are our top markets right now. We always want to give our people and our viewers a shout out. And the number one demographic for viewers of our program are Black men ages 25 to 44. The sisters are not that far behind. So we appreciate all of you who come in every week and tune in. But yes, as we said, we have a powerful program this evening. We have a panel guest appearance from one, in my opinion, one of the greatest organizations in the United States ever formed is the United African Movement and everything that came under that. In previous weeks or months, if you will, we have been discussing here some critical cases that had taken place in the 1980s and early 90s. And to be upfront about it, there have been documentaries done on all of the cases, with the exception of the Tawana Brawley case, documentaries have been done about these cases, but purposefully omitting the United African Movement, which was a movement, an organization that was key in the Tawana Brawley trial, in the murder of Michael Griffith in Howard Beach, in the murder of Yusef Hawkins in Bensonhurst. And tonight's panel guests were members or are members of the United African Movement, and they are going to give you their recollection and they'll tell all truth, while we also play some video clips about these cases. And I'm going to read some writings that the attorney Automatics wrote himself, in particular about the Tawana Brawley case, because the reason why you have such a widespread trafficking of Black girls and Black women today is because, in my humble opinion, we didn't deal with that case then. And we let some things slide that was out of our hands, that we need to tighten up on. So we're going to get into all of that. And also later on this evening at about 9:30-ish, we'll have the artist Livewire come in with Parker Phillips and Voices of Glori to talk about their new hit single, No More. And it's taking off, I mean, like crazy. And so, yeah, we get involved in some other things as well. So, yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, family. Stay tuned. So, like I said, family, we really want to get into these cases, and we're just waiting for the remainder of our panelists to get in here. We have Sister Pat Patterson coming in. We have Magnetic Peace Tyson coming in. We have the history hitman himself, Mike Graves, coming in. And the one and only Brother Ray coming through, because you hear Brother Taz saying the right? They bringing the belt.
I need to go get my pen and paper. Hold
on. Get the pen and pads. Get your pen and pads, because they bringing the belts. I'm telling you, it's going to be some spanking going on here tonight.
Yeah,
so
I'm about to say, I don't think the people really know what they're in for.
I'm telling you, I'm on chill mode tonight. I'm on chill mode. Brother Tad on chill mode tonight, because I think this is important, because if we don't tell our own stories, other people will, and that is how history becomes distorted. And a lot of oftentimes, as we leave this world, and we all gonna leave this world, our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will ask those questions: why? And who was involved? And why was this omitted? Who decided to omit these things? What is the key component to omitting this organization from all documentaries as it relates to these cases? There is a component and a reason why. And the panelists tonight, they're going to give y'all all of the information. So I cannot wait to get started. But Brother Tad.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we bring in our panelists, because we got to wait for a couple of them getting cute. But after the election, mainstream media's relentless assault on the psyche of Black men is disgusting.
Yes, it is.
It is disgusting. It seems that every time there is an issue, a crisis, or whatever, they seem to find some docile Black male to give a commentary on something that is so serious as it relates to voting in this country, as it relates to our people's condition in this country. They seem to always find these same types to come in and give commentary, and it is disgusting. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that in this time, in 2020, we have so many independent Black media platforms where you don't have to reach out and seek this nonsense. But mainstream media is still the bully in the yard right now. They still the bullying yard. They being dealt with. They getting smacked upside the head, left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
But they still the bully in the yard. So, you know, when I saw Van Jones, something in me, I just wanted to take my Timberland. And I really wear my Timbs. But I just wanted to take my Timberland and just kick his esophagus through the TV. I mean, this was so disgusting. And, you know, he did this on the cusp of Black men being murdered. And people pushing this Democratic line, this Democratic vote, if you will. And he sits on national TV. This thing has been shared over 7 million times the last time I checked. 7 million times. This goddamn thing is going all over the world. And this is the image that they show of Black men. I'm going to show this for the family real quick. You know, for those of you who may not seen it, you're going to see it today because this annoyed me. You know, and I got so sick to my stomach. But I'm going to share it for those who haven't seen it. Y'all bear with us. Here we go.
And here's one. It's well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Tell them the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, the I can't breathe. You know, that wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up and you're getting these tweets and you just don't know. And you're going to the store and people who have been afraid to show their racism are getting nastier and nastier to you. And you're worried about your kids and you're worried about your sister. And can she just go to Walmart and get back into her car without somebody saying something to her? And you spent so much of your life energy just trying to hold it together. And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters. You know, I just want my sons to look at this. Look at this. You know, it's easy to do it the cheap way and get away with stuff, but it comes back around. It comes back around. And this is a good day for this country. I'm sorry for the people who lost. For them, it's not a good day. But for whole...
I can't watch no more. I can't watch no more. You know, this sickening degenerate. If this was my father, I would kick him down a flight of stairs. This is disgusting. He had the nerve to look into the goddamn camera and say, I want my son to look at this. No. You know, those of y'all who live in Bed-Stuy, that's y'all neighbor. That's y'all folks. We don't roll like in New York. Like, this is y'all people. Like, what in the, this disgusts me. And, you know, shout out to all the brothers who have media platforms who came out and ripped this dude to shreds, as you rightfully should do, because this is utterly disgusting. For this bastard to come on national TV and sit here in crocodile tears talking about now we can have a chance. Joe Biden is in office. My messer is better than your attitude. That's disgusting. But I'm going to get off my soapbox. I see my brother Ashe SJ. He came in too with the NY. Boy, we feeling it tonight. He got the black hoodie on. See, that's why we rock together, because we always in sync. We always in sync. That's why
Brother,
we
I
rock.
say,
Yeah. What's the word?
What I say, SJ?
Yo, what's the word? What's the word? Anything good?
Yeah, I just had to show that weak coward Van Jones crying on TV over Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Just disgusting.
Yeah, he was going for the Oscar on that one.
I'm telling you, he should get it.
Oscar on that one. Man.
He should get it. Denzel, your job is in trouble right now.
Yeah. But you know, sis, it's so sad though, because the level of ignorance of our folks and how mind control works, because for Van Jones it's a career ploy for him and a political move. However, for us, he's just a blind leading the blind for anybody that will follow him or his suggestions, because we already know who and what Joe Biden is. Shout out to Dr. Esau too. I was hanging out with Dr. Jahi Esau last night. He came by and checked me out. So that was definitely a blessing. Shout out to him and Professor Carl Tone Jones out in Philly, who hit me up yesterday. You know, we gonna try to do some work together, you know, because we really need to educate our folks. And the sad part about Biden is, if people remember, him and Kamala didn't even get along. Remember, Kamala called him a racist, and they both were attacking each other's political records. So now all of a sudden, them two are the bosom buddies, the odd couple, the Corsican twins, whatever you want to call them. And it's like, our folks don't have the attention span of a goldfish. And it's just amazing that they don't see that these two people were at odds, and all of a sudden they're like super friends. You know, Zan and Jaina, when the twin powers activate. And we know who Biden is. We've been talking about him for years, since he was with Obama. We know him to be a perverted pedophile. We know this to be the truth. We know the Democratic Party to be involved with Pizzagate. We know these things to be the truth. So is he going to stop? Is he going to try to stop the sex trafficking? As we seen Trump said, we're going to drain the swamp. And please believe me, I'm no Trump fan at all. However, we got to call things for what they are, because once he came into office, you started seeing all these bigwig pedophiles start going down. Epstein, Weinstein, Blonstein, Bloomstein, whatever, all these things, Frankenstein, all of them started going down. None of this happened under Obama. But let's not forget the little white guy who held the press conference in D.C. and talked about his escapade with Obama. Now, whether it's true or not, we don't know. However, it was never challenged. It was never challenged. So we really got to start looking at things with a critical eye and stop being so emotional about everything. And take a moment, sit back and just think things out. Listen to both sides of the argument. Because we are in this cancel culture right now that if we don't agree with somebody, we just don't listen to them. But how do you learn and grow if you don't listen to the other side of the table? They may not be right, or maybe they have a valid point. That'll help you have a better level of understanding of your position and how to improve your argument. But it's like, if you sit on the other side of the table, I don't even want to hear what you got to say. Because it's almost like now, if you say anything about Trump, and not necessarily in support, but dispel a lie, oh, you support a racist? You're like, no, we just dealing with facts. Because if you lying, I'm gonna call you on it. And that's it. I don't see how any of these people being elected improved my life or hindered my life. It hasn't. So, you know, I'm gonna step off my soapbox, because I'm gonna let my brother Ashe get in here and get some of this, because I know he has some things he want to say.
Yeah, man, that dude, what's his name? Van Jones, Van Hose. I don't know what his name is, man, but yo, that dude, lack of manhood right there at his finest, man. I mean, like, the dude was crying, you know. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You already see, but we already know what's behind it, you know. It's the whole media manipulation. That's what it's about. You know, if you look at CNN, you know, you get one take on what's going down. You know, every headline they got on CNN is making it seem like Biden has won and all of these things. But if you turn at the same time, one channel down to Fox News Network, you're gonna get a whole different perspective. Every headline they giving is saying like Trump still got a chance. So this shows you the media manipulation. It's really them selling what they want you to believe. You know what I'm saying? It's really them doing that, and it's up to us to have enough common sense to be able to dig through, sift through it, really see what the facts are, and put all of their agendas to the side. Because we already see, I'm sure a lot of people seen the video clip where they show how the media, a lot of these the news channels and things of that nature, they could report the same article and say it with the same exact words.
Yes.
Same exact words. I'm talking about not like 2-3 different news channels. I'm talking like 20, 30, 40, 50 different news channels saying the same article with the same exact words. So that shows that it's scripted. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these things are scripted, man. And like I said, if you want to see a prime example of that, watch CNN and then watch Fox News and see the difference. It's really them just pushing their agenda, and you're gonna fall victim to it if you ain't got your third eye open, man. You got to stay up. But the fact that dude got on this platform, start talking about you could really, what he say? Now you could really be a parent again. Like, what was you a parent before, dude? Man, I thought he was homosexual. Honestly, I thought he was a homosexual, whatever his name is. Now he talking about a parent. I'm like, oh, whoa. That shocked me before he even went into this whole monologue. You got kids, dude? You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe he adopted. You know how they do. 2 men could adopt a child nowadays. But that's what it seemed like to me, man. So I really don't know what's going on with dude. But if you watched it, like little clips that like I picked up on, before they announced that Biden won, he was already leaning. Like every time they speak, it's like they speak it for their party, and people are so, they get it so twisted when it comes to these Democrats and politics and, Republicans and things of that nature. We get caught up in all of that, man. We got, like I said, man, we got to really think about our party or just backing out, having a all black party, where we get things done that we want, put the agenda on the table, or we just got to fall back, man, because too many of us is getting caught up in this thinking that something is really helping. I think they said we got to wait till January, and then you're going to see what officially happens. I know Trump hasn't conceded yet, so really, we really don't know what's happening. They talking about lawsuits and things of that nature. It's politics as usual, man. Really, none of that really matters. It's just going to be a different slave master, different whips, and different forms of chains, So we really got to focus on our universe, like I like to say, and just make sure that we got our head on right, focused on what our direction for 2021 is. A lot of people had their 2020 all planned out, all mapped out. 2020 supposed to be the year of vision. It's supposed to be clear vision a year. Everybody says it's going to be lit. Look what happened. You know what I'm saying? So are we right now preparing for 2021? That's what we need to be focused on. That's the new year that's coming up. It's already, they got Santa Claus in the stores already. You know what I'm saying? So the year is over. It's almost here. So we need to be strategizing, plotting and planning on what our 2021 is going to look like. You know what I'm saying? Because they got an agenda for us. They already got it mapped out, planned out. Biden, I think a lot of y'all got lost in the goddamn fireworks. I know y'all was watching that damn the what you call it when they made it official. They said Biden is the winner. They had it all over TV. A lot of y'all was watching them damn fireworks. Y'all ain't realize they put them fireworks up for a reason. They know black people like fireworks. They know we still have fireworks off in November in the hood. Even though July 4th them passed months ago, we still lighting fireworks off. They know we like them fireworks. So they said Biden said we gotta put it up in fireworks. We gotta put Biden and Kamala in fireworks. Black people like, yes. You see how easily we get the wool pull over our eyes, fam? We caught up in these damn fireworks thinking Biden gonna do something for us. That's what he did. He gave us fireworks. You know what I'm saying? What else he gonna do? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing.
But you know what? real quick, because we got our panelists on, and I know they're gonna have a chock full of information because we got them for about an hour or so before our other guests come on, and I definitely want them to dig into this. You know, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, Ashe, before we bring them in. So no, I'm saying finish your thought, Ashe, but I just wanted to put that out there before we bring them in.
Listen, fam, y'all already know how I rock, man. We really about that activism up here, man. I'm moving, I'm shaking. Last week I wasn't even on the show. That's how busy I am. I'm working. I forgot about the goddamn show. You know what I'm saying? To keep it honest, I'm working out here. I'm busy. I'm behind the scenes, boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a lot of things coming up. Just make sure y'all follow us. But yeah, tonight, like you said, brother, we got some panelists, some real authentic hard workers, people that put in decades of the struggle and the battle for our people. You know what I'm saying? The legendary, historic, United African movement. A lot of them. Honestly, that's where I got my start. You know, my consciousness came from the forum. You know, going to UAM Wednesday nights, met Keisha there. You know, met so many other people there, and being that was right here in the heart of Brooklyn. You know, I had the opportunity as a youngin' to really, you know, uplift myself when it comes to the consciousness. And, you know, I realized that I couldn't just sit still. I had to do something, you know. So I'm really excited to have a continuation of this. You know, unfortunately, UAM is no longer active, but the members are definitely still active, you know, and we are all, even Thorough Black Talk and the spirit of United African Movement is going to keep this thing living, man, because so many greats have come through those doors and put some work through, and we really just trying to continue that on Thorough Black Talk. So I'm excited for the guest that's going to come on tonight. I know we're going to talk about, you know, the politics and things of that nature, but Sister Keisha, they had the hands-on. You was there as well. They had the hands-on experience when it came to our brother Yusef Hawkins and things of that nature out here in Brooklyn. So, you know, I'm excited to hear the background stories, the people that, like I said, was really out there, boots on the ground, field, because these are the things that, you know, and a lot of it we can't even tell on the show. You know what I'm saying? Because those are behind the scenes. That's a shadow law. We got to keep some of those things behind the scenes. But this is the importance of you collaborating and connecting with your brothers and sisters in the flesh, not just armchair revolutionaries on social media. You know, because when you get in the flesh, you could discuss things and talk about things that we necessarily can't talk about on the internet, you know, and really strategize and plan some things, man. So look out for, we about to have our Karamu. I'm setting it up, Brother Taz, Sister Keisha. We setting up the Karamu again. You know how we do. So everybody in the NYC area, or if you feel like, if you want to travel, you know, we definitely going to have our Karamu. I don't like to say holiday Karamu. We know these are holidays coming up, but
for us it's holy days. For us it's holy days.
Yeah, just make sure y'all don't get caught up. We know Black Friday is coming. A lot of people gonna get caught up in spending their money and getting crazy and all of that. Just make sure that if you're gonna do it, support some Black-owned businesses, family. Go to some Black holiday markets. Buy you a Black Santa Claus hat or something. I don't know. I mean, if you gotta do Santa Claus, you know,
keep it black. Keep it black. Get you some
support,
keep
man,
it black. That's all. Just keep it
black.
black.
A lot of people get lost in these holidays, man, and a lot of people start to get depressed and they buy stuff because of that. You know what I'm saying? So let's just make sure that we keeping our left foot forward, our head on a swivel, and let's keep it moving with that, man. But I know we got some great people that's about to come up in here, so you know I'm gonna pass the mic. Let's get some of this information.
Yes, family. Of course, like we said earlier, you know, there have been a lot of documentaries that have been released about some critical cases that have taken place here in New York. One being the murder of Yusef Hawkins in Bensonhurst, the murder of Michael Griffith in Howard Beach, and the kidnap and rape of Tawana Brawley in Wapajas Falls, New York. All of these were back to back. And if I can name others, there was Eleanor Bumpers at that time. You had the Bernard Getz massacre on the subway. so many things was happening in New York City at that time. And one of the key organizations in New York City that had a critical role in a lot of these cases was the United African Movement. And so what better way than to have members of a United African Movement come here and give you that real, that fire, how we do it on Thorough Black Talk. And no, brother, we did not coordinate the hats. It's just that we nice, we in sync. You know, these are my brothers. That's just how we move, you know. And I see my brother Mike Gray's even got on the black hoodie. I see him behind the scenes. So, you know, we in sync. It's Brooklyn. It is what it is, you know. But without further ado, we're going to bring in our panelists. First up, we have Sister Pat Patterson to join us, who is a member of a United African Movement and played a critical role as campaign manager for both Mike Grace and Michael Lloyd during the Freedom Party. Sister Pat, welcome to Thorough Black Talk.
Yeah.
Hotel, brothers and sisters. Hotel, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in and joining us. We got also Brother Ray Ray. You know, Brother Ray Ray is always on the scene. I don't know, he hiding his camera or something right now. But Brother Ray Ray also a critical component in the United African Movement, and we're going to get his perspective on that as well. And as we wait for our brother Peace to get in, one of the premier DJs, hip hop legends, if you will, Magnetic Peace Tyson will be joining us shortly as he tries to work out the kinks on his end. We have with us also the history hitman himself, co-founder of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, also co-host of Community Cop, which airs every week on YouTube, and you can definitely catch their program. We share it often on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page. So, family, welcome to the program. We're excited to have you all with us this evening because, you know, as I said in the opening, there have been a lot of documentaries released about these cases, and purposefully or not, however way the director or the filmmakers have omitted. I'm getting some feedback. So, in the fact, I don't know if somebody has Ray Ray. Probably I see things leaking. As I said,
I just muted him.
we're gonna have to mute him until he get this figured out. And they have omitted the United African Movement and, most importantly, Attorney Automatics from these documentaries. So, you know, I thought, why not have y'all on here? How about that? How about y'all fill in the blanks where these documentaries omitted a lot of truth? So again, thank you all for joining us. We're excited to have you this evening. Tonight, first of all, we want to go back to the Yusef Hawkins murder, because I think that was the latest one. That was in August of '89. So that is the latest. So we would go with the latest and then work our way up. In the documentary, A Storm Over Brooklyn, you know, I don't know if you all have seen it. If you haven't, you can catch it on HBO. We're going to show the trailer here tonight. But I wanted to get our panelist perspective on the murder of Yusef Hawkins. But before we get into that, what was, Sister Pat, I'm speaking to you, what was the temperature like in the 1980s in New York City at that time?
Hot like fire. Hot like fire. The temperature was nothing like this pseudo Black Lives Matter foolishness. The temperature in the New York City, when it came down to the Black community, whether they were the Queens Black community, the Brooklyn Black community, the Harlem Black community, it was like fire. And I say all of that to say that because of the construction of the political agenda and the apparatus in City Hall, it just happened to be one of those things where the fire was set and now there was an explosion. There was an explosion. You mentioned the Hawkins. You mentioned the Hawkins incident. Well, let me just say this: the Yusef Hawkins incident and Bensonhurst was. It was one of the things where it was just one of many incidents that was happening when Black men or Black youth was find themselves in neighborhoods like Bensonhurst or Gravesend or Howard Beach or any of those particular white, predominantly white communities. And the Hawkins incident was not the first. Was not the first. There were some incidents that occurred prior to Hawkins. I think the older man was Willie Perks back in the days, and you had the Michael Griffins back in the days. These things happened, and it was just enough was enough. You know, enough was enough. And under the the leadership of the United African Movement, with the chairman, Automatics, and Sharpton, they collaborated, and the community was just ready to just say enough is enough. We're not going to tolerate that nonsense anymore. And they took it to City Hall and said, this has got to stop.
Can't hear you, sir.
I can't hear you, sister.
Thank you, sis. Before we move on to Brother Ray and Brother Mike, because I definitely want to get their perspective on the temperature of New York City in the 80s. I just want to say that for the record, Sister Pat, who was the noted attorney in the Yusef Hawkins murder?
Who was the noted attorney?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see?
Wait, I can't see. I can't see nothing.
Well, in the Hawkins case, it was the chairman, Automatics Jr. I thought when I said, "Can you see?" I'm actually wearing a shirt. I don't know. And if you can see what it says Alton's Army takes the courts in a Garvey whirlwind. That's the shirt that I'm wearing. And I thought this was appropriate to wear this type of shirt because the United African Movement was built on the basis of the Garveys of Marcus Garvey. So I thought this was just appropriate to wear.
Right. So before we move on, because some of you may not have seen A Storm Over Brooklyn, and you heard Sister Pat say the attorney of note was Automatics, but his commentary or his organization was omitted from the documentary. But we'll just play the clip or the trailer, which is 2 minutes, for you all to view real quick. Brother Ray, while we get that queued up, if you can tell us what was the temperature like for you. Storm over Brooklyn, and you heard Sister Pat say the attorney of note was Automatics, but his commentary or his organization was omitted from the documentary. But we'll just play the clip or the trailer, which is 2 minutes, for you all to view real quick. Brother Ray, while we get that queued up, if you can tell us what was the temperature like for you. Storm over Brooklyn, and you heard Sister Pat say the attorney of note was Automatics, but his commentary or his organization was omitted from the documentary. But we'll just play the clip or the trailer, which is 2 minutes, for you all to view real quick. Brother Ray, while we get that queued up, if you can tell us what was the temperature like for you. Storm over Brooklyn, and you heard Sister Pat say the attorney of note was Automatics, but
New York in the 80s and 90s in the lens of today, I don't quite understand the racial divisions that make people say New York is like
Brother Ray, while we get that queued up,
What it does? Right out there around the corner. So surrounded us. Next thing I know, I hear.
Can you hear me?
Yo, you gotta mute your mic, bro. Mute your mic.
I gotta actually flat out. It wasn't my friend, and it wasn't me.
My son has been tried and executed only because of the color of his skin.
This should have never happened to him.
They evaluate the evidence, they'll realize it wasn't a racial case.
You'd have to be stupid to not determine that there was a racist element. Martin Luther King used to say, make the comfortable uncomfortable.
Well, play the trailer, because I don't want to talk over the trailer.
We should march in the neighborhood.
They did not want it there, and they made that known.
This should have never happened to him.
They evaluate the evidence, they'll realize it wasn't a racial case.
You'd have to be stupid.
We're not just going to go away quietly.
We will be back, and that is a fact. One win has taken us.
My brothers definitely went down. People was yelling out his name.
That was the trailer for Storm Over Brooklyn. You guys can catch it on HBO or HBO Go if you have the app. I don't know whatever streaming service you may have, but you can catch the documentary in its entirety on HBO. So we're going to unmute Brother Ray and Brother Mike, who are now able. Brother Ray, I'm going to ask if you are showing or listening on your phone. You guys can catch it. Shut that off. Because I see that's where the interference is coming in. It's on your end, Brother Ray. So if you have it on a different device that you're listening to or viewing, you're going to have to mute it. Ray and Brother Mike. There is a lag. So, and Brother Peace is trying to work out technical difficulties on his end. But Brother Mike Graves.
Shout out to Sister D who just called in too.
Say that again.
Shout out to Sister D who just called in. If you are trying to listen, you definitely got to check us on Facebook or YouTube.
Can you hear me, Keisha?
If you call,
I can, Ray.
If you call in the show, you will be added to the cipher. So do me a favor, if you wanna tune in, check us on YouTube at Thorough Black Talk or check us on Facebook at Thorough Black Talk. All right. The phone line is if you have a question or a comment. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. I unmuted you, Ray, because we were getting a lot of feedback on your end, but your mic is open now. If you can, give us, your take on what it was like in the 80s, during these cases. It seems that, Ray, you got a problem. Unmute your mic. Mike, if you can, give us your take on
I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
During those times in New York City.
Okay, am I on?
Yes, I think you're on, Mike.
Okay, well, I would say that.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I think Ray is trying to go. He can go.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say yeah. Okay, family, how you doing? First of all, I went to school out. I went to Lafayette High School, and I went to FDR High School. Number one, can you hear me, Keisha? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Keep going.
We hear you clearly.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, the United African Movement was one of the most powerfulest organizations created coming out of the slave theater. You talking about the 80s, crack, drugs, everything. I first started going to the United African Movement. I've been going there now. And number two, the United African Movement is still in effect as long as its members are still talking about the United African Movement. Number one, the United African Movement is still moving and it's still in full effect because we are here talking about it. It's not been forgotten. And it was one of the most powerful organizations that didn't hold back no punches. Alton Maddox, Roy Canton had some of the most powerful speakers coming there on Bedford and Fulton. Roy Canton and the Mackeys group. The Mackeys group started as a prerequisite on the Thursday at 258 on Macon. That group started out over there as a Thursday to coincide with the United African Movement. All the powerful speakers came there. It was unbelievable, but also was a bunch of spies there. It was people trying to come in there with white people. White women trying to come in there with their hair balled up in their hats. The brothers was trying to bring them in there and slide up in there because that's how powerful it was. Alton was the head attorney. This case, the reason why they did not want to put Alton Maddox to say anything, because Sharpton and all of them that did the video with HBO and got paid a lot of money did not want the powerful suggestions in what Alton Maddox played. Lenore Fulani and all of them was coming to the slave theater. All of them was hanging out there. But the genius of Maddox, it was also Joe Mack. It was also Reverend Jones's sons and all of them, the lawyers. They was all involved. Those powerful voices was all involved in the United African Movement.
Thank you,
the
Ray.
speakers was coming in 86. I was going there since 1986.
Wow.
With all the vendors and everything. So the movement was on a target anyway.
Michael Griffith was murdered.
I was going there since 86.
Right, and that's the year that Michael Griffith was murdered in Howard Beach.
Alton and them was rolling. Everybody was trying to make a difference, but you got to remember, it was outside forces there that was always trying to destroy the movement. It was corroborators. Steve Coakley used to come. Khalid Mohammed used to come there all the time. The spies was there, and they still around. But the United African Movement is still in full effect. I went to Lafayette High School. I know how they roll out there. I went to FDR. Sometime I knew how to run through that cemetery. I knew people in Marlboro. We fought them. Sometime we lost, sometime we won. But we were fighting.
Got you.
So all that racism ain't go nowhere. All that racism that they did ain't go nowhere. It's still there.
Hold on, Brother Ray. Let's get Mike Grays in here.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike, give us your perspective on what it was like, in New York City, in the height of all of these racially motivated cases and the United African Movement being pretty much in the center of it all.
Well, I concur with respect to UAM being the central organization, because everybody brought their organization, whatever organization prior to UAM they belonged to, they brought there. Some people just came there to advertise their events because that's where the crowd was. There was always an overflow crowd. So if the slave could hold 700, you probably had, let's say, another 200 to 300 people outside on Fulton Street selling merchandise, buying merchandise, outside talking, some street talkers, talking to a few people. And it was so energetic. The energy, it was a revival to some who was around in the 60s. It was a revival of kinship to them. But the people making their first inroads in the movement, it was profound to see Dr. Jeffries, to see Del Jones, to see Khalid Abdul Muhammad at the time when he was the minister of Mosque number 7. When he walked into the room, oh my goodness, that strength and power, that electricity was there. Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Scobie, so many. It was central. And when you talk about the issues, all of the various issues you mentioned were significant parts of UAM. But the most powerful part that brought everybody under the sun together at that time and made other people afraid because of what it was attempting to do, it's no question. UAM was built on the principles of Garvey, but the issue that was the magnet was the rape and kidnapping of Tawana Brawley. That was the one, bar none. All those other ones were very hot. Yeah, going all the way back to Willie Turks and all of those cases were profound, and they were discussed, and troops was always sent out to various courtrooms. But the one that galvanized everybody in '89, which was a few years after, which made David Dinkins the next mayor, was Yusef Hawkins.
Right.
And David Dinkins would have never been mayor, and the story has not been told.
Mm-hmm.
David Dinkins would never have been mayor. He didn't even have the heart to run. David Dinkins and Mayor Koch were good friends. They were excellent friends. And when I say friends, you have to understand a powerful white man, when he has a black friend, that's a person that follows his orders. They were friendly. They weren't friends as you might have friends or I might have friends. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that kind of relationship. Mayor Koch told Dinkins, who was a city clerk at that time, to run against him. Koch was endorsed by the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. Now, some people might not be able to wrap their mind around that, but you had a mayor that went unchallenged. Now, some people love challenges because they raise millions of dollars, and of course, some of those millions disappear somewhere and ends up, where they wanted to end up. And you need somebody to run against to justify why you raising this money. So he had David Dinkins. He picked David Dinkins to run against him. Now, David Dinkins is nobody's standard bearer. Let's be clear on that. He's not a standard bearer for black people. He does not represent black issues. He does not represent black men, women, or children. David Dinkins was none of that. However, Koch told him to run. David Dinkins who was trying to become the man, that he couldn't become the Manhattan Borough president because he couldn't beat that white guy, that owns all of those pharmacies. It comes from a rich family. The Jewish guy, I forgot his name, who was the Manhattan Borough president at that time. Stein, I forgot. But he couldn't beat him. So Koch told him to run against him. So he wasn't really running. He was just there. And then that happened to Yusef Hawkins. And he was encouraged to go over there to Alabama and Hegman. I'm from East New York. I knew Diane personally. Diane Hawkins, the mother of Yusef Hawkins. Knew her, and I don't mind telling you, she was a fox back in the day. I mean, straight up and down, she was a fox. Very attractive, very nice girl, older, but you know how young guys look at, women, and man, she was something else. Very nice and pleasant. I knew her and knew where she lived at. Well, David Dinkins went to that house under advisement of other people that you better go there because everybody else was coming out to East New York. Well, David Dinkins went there, and suddenly his campaign became serious. It went from a no contest campaign to being a serious campaign because all the forces from all 5 boroughs came together and told him, run, run, run. He wasn't running before that. He just had his name there. And before you know it, he got thrust into something that he had nothing to do with. He has never dealt with a black issue of a black being killed at the hands of white people. But that made him mayor. So that gives you a sense of how strong that Yusef Hawkins case was. And when you watch A Storm Over Brooklyn, you watch present day collaborators. You don't see the seriousness of United African Movement because that was the drumbeat. That was the meeting place where all the soldiers, the real soldiers, the dying of war, you gotta kill me soldiers, those types were there on Fulton Street.
Right, because that's where I got the information from about what was happening, because Brother Muhammad was security for UAM. And my mother babysit his son while he with the parking lot around the corner.
Okay, got you. Yes, sir. Yes.
So my mother would babysit his son while he would do security there. And so, and I was sitting tenant patrol in the building in Fort Greene, and he would bring me back all of the programs and stuff so that I could have. So that's where I knew, where it was jumping off at. I didn't know about nothing else until, I started going and I started to learn about First World and everybody else. But, basically, that's where I got the information from. But, I'm glad we got our brother Peace in the building. The legend himself. Let me tell y'all, when it comes to this DJing and hip hop and where it started and all the players, we gotta have a show with Brother Peace because he is just that. So thank you, Brother Peace, for finally coming in here. You got the boombox.
Peace, family. It's a pleasure to be here among family.
So, Brother Peace, give us your take on what it was like to be a part of UAM in the 1980s when all of these critical cases was taking place here in New York City.
It was refreshing. It was beautiful. It was a family affair. I brought my family. I got an old picture of me bringing my wife and my daughters there on Wednesday, sometimes on the train before I got my car. That's how powerful it was. It was refreshing, rejuvenating. It was healthy. It was therapy. That's what it was. It was mental therapy for an insane world.
That's what I'm talking about. But I'm glad you all brought up, the Tawana Brawley case, because we definitely have to get into that, because in my humble opinion, that was a case that was, when you look at prosecutorial misconduct, it is the Tawana Brawley case. From top to bottom, left, right, and center, when you go to Robert Abrams and everybody else involved, Stephen Pagonis and his involvement, his girlfriend, and so on and so forth. But before we get into that, just so our listening and viewing audience can have some history on Tawana Brawley, I'm going to ask that you all mute your mics, and I'm going to play this short clip. And one thing I'm appreciative of is the video history of Minister Brown. And if you don't follow Tap Video on YouTube, you should, so that you can get a lot of the information and see some of the great scholars that you all watch on YouTube today. You don't even know that they were right there at the United African Movement. So we're going to go into this Tawana Brawley case for those who don't know. Just mute your mics and we'll play for our viewers.
This is Dutchess County, New York. It is one of the wealthiest counties in the United States of America. and consequently one of the most powerful counties in the country as well. It is the home of IBM headquarters, the Texaco Research Center, the Vanderbilt family and estate, and the Roosevelt family and estate. Here lies the grave and tombstone of the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the godfather of the New Deal liberal doctrine, and his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. This family still remains affectionately embedded in the hearts and souls of the American people in particular, and the Western world in general. And in the midst of Dutchess County's wealth and international prominence exists one of the most explosive, racially charged cases in the annals of America's history. On November the 28th, 1987, a 15-year-old African-American female by the name of Tawana Brawley was found unconscious and in a garbage bag in the backyard of her family's former address in the Pavilion Condominium Complex in Wappingers Falls. Wappingers Falls is located in Dutchess County, New York. In addition to have been found unconscious and in a garbage bag, Tawana was also found with cotton stuffed in her nose and ears, KKK and nigger bitch scrawled over her body, and dog feces smeared on her being as well. According to Tawana, on November the 24th, 1987, approximately 8:30 p.m., she got off a short line bus in front of this Mobile service station, which is located on Route 9 in Wappingers Falls. As the bus proceeded north on Route 9, she walked across Route 9 and onto Middlebush Road. As she proceeded to walk across Middlebush Road toward home, a green four-door car pulled up next to her. A white man, about 6 feet tall, jumped out of the car, flashed a badge, and forced her into the car. But when she resisted, she was struck on the head and thrown into the car, and she was taken into a wooded area where she was raped and sodomized. This morbid and atrocious crime, perpetrated against Tawana, triggered off one of the most uncompromising militant movements to ever sweep this country.
Director of the Smokeable.
We will play the second part in a second. I just wanted the family, for those who don't know about the Tawana Brawley case, a brief synopsis of what took place on November the 24th in 1987. Before we move on, I want our family to understand exactly who Ultimatics is. You know, what is his resume? You know, a lot of people don't even know his resume. But of course, on Thorough Black Talk, that's what we do here. We keep it thorough. So just some highlights of his career. You know, he was formerly the director of the NCBL. I believe that's the National Coalition of Black Lawyers Project. He is the founder of Medgar Evers Center for Law and Justice. He was the counsel for Chokwe Lumumba in federal government oppositions. He represented pro bono in successful litigation supporting the appointment of non-white school chancellors in New York's history, co-sponsor 1983 congressional hearings on police brutality in New York City, pro bono counsel in successful litigation on behalf of Save the Schomburg Coalition, pro bono counsel for Anthony Davis, a high school student who was acquitted of killing his white teacher, pro bono counsel for the Michael Stewart family in New York City, exposed the cover-up, the fatal beating of Michael Stewart by 11 white policemen, and litigation compelling the district attorney of New York County for the first time to indict a white policeman for the death of a black person. Pro se defendant who successfully defended against charges of obstruction of justice and the assault of court officers, in which People v. Maddox is successful, would have led to a disbarment. Pro bono counsel who successfully defended Jonah Perry, a graduate student at Cornell University, on robbery and assault charges against a white police officer arising out of a fatal shooting of his brother Edmund Perry. Pro bono counsel for Michael Griffith and Cedric Sandiford in the Griffith racially motivated murder in New York. Pro bono counsel for Andre Nichols, who confessed to murdering a white Catholic priest, but who was nonetheless acquitted of all murder and gun charges. Shout out to the Nichols family. I grew up with them, went to school with Andre's sister. Maddox, co-founder and chairman of the United African Movement, organized to fight for the racial justice, and particularly for Tawana Brawley family, and to provide a weekly political forum for the Black community, among other things. He was pro-counsel for Moses Stewart family in the racially motivated killing of Yusef Hawkins in Bensonhurst, pro bono counsel for Michael Briscoe, who was the only indicted defendant, who had his indictment dismissed in the Central Park jogger case. He was pro bono counsel for the Reverend Al Sharpton, who was acquitted on all 67 count indictment in Manhattan Supreme Court. He was a presenter at the National Convention of the American Bar Association, chairman in 1992 committee to elect Al Sharpton to the U.S. Senate, sponsor of successful congressional hearings to halt the excavation of the ancestral burial ground in New York City. And I could go on and on and on and on. Also a former columnist for the Amsterdam News. So that is his resume, but it seems, they keep omitting his history from these key cases, and that is because, in my humble opinion, that the United African Movement was unbought and unbossed. They could not be bought by white dollars, white women dollars, or any other dollars for that matter. And, Maddox, as I've read, was successful in all of these cases. And this is just a few. I ain't even talk about the BLM members and all of that. So I ain't even get into all of that. But they have had their eye on Alton Maddox and the United African Movement since it started to make waves. But playing that clip in reference to the kidnap and rape of Tawana Brawley. It is often said that this was, lies. They call her a liar, all kind of stuff. You had people like Bill Cosby. I remember Minister Louis Farrakhan and Mike Tyson and everybody else coming out in support of the Brawley family. Well, that is until it got real thick. So if you can, panelists, give us your take on what happened with the Brawley case and the United African Movement at that time. We'll start with our brother Mike Grace, the history hitman, and then we'll move to Sister Pat. You got to unmute your mic, brother Mike. You got to unmute yourself. There you go.
How about now?
Perfect.
Okay. Let's clearly understand that what made the Tawana Brawley case much more dangerous than all of those other cases is because Attorney Maddox had the temerity to try to put a half a dozen powerful white men in jail. You have to remember, Tawana Brawley identified her attackers. Among them were Pagonis, who was a district attorney, Patterson, who was a police officer, and you also had Harry Chris, who was a police officer, and several others. Now, she said that she was pulled into the van by someone with a badge. The district attorneys up there in Wappington Falls, they carry badges, which is unlike other ADAs in other places. But Maddox, being the bloodhound that he is, went up there before he actually formally took the case and did the investigations and found out that the very same people that she identified were supposedly going on a guy's trip. Now, their excuse for being together away from their wives and family was that they were going Thanksgiving, they were going Christmas shopping at Thanksgiving time. Now, you know, men don't do that. Men shop the day before Christmas for their Christmas gifts. They claim that they went literally almost a month in advance. You know, so you're talking about 30, 31 days, men leaving the state, going across to another state, traveling by you know, themselves to go shopping for their wives and families. And yet they, with their diseased bodies, they gave her a sexually transmitted disease. They were, Pagonis himself was later divorced by his wife because she came to the courtroom a few times during the defamation trial and heard their evidence and knew it was true. They knew it was true. I would just say that these documentaries, it's not a coincidence, and I'll make it brief so everybody else can comment. It's not an accident that Storm Over Brooklyn, No Alton Maddox, the Charles Hines case that made him famous, Howard Beach, No Alton Maddox, the Central Park so-called 5, that documentary, No Alton Maddox. Consequently, it's not an accident that they have taken the baddest, boldest black lawyer we've had since you know who, Charles Hamilton Houston. He's the baddest. I'm not saying that he's the most scholarly because they are those who study just as much as Attorney Maddox, but they don't have that heart to go up against the system. They got the legal skills, but the heart that it takes. Alton always took things personal in the courtroom. If you see him fighting in the courtroom, you would swear it's for a family member because he goes so hard and goes to the edge on everything. And the judge gotta try to control the courtroom because he will come out with information that you are not ready for. So I would just say that all those documentaries are to write Alton Maddox and the United African Movement out of history. And that last one, Storm Over Brooklyn, Sharpton did that, and he intentionally took out Alton Maddox out of everything. You heard the family commenting, you heard the friends commenting, you heard other people from other organizations commenting, you heard nothing from Alton Maddox. And at that time, unbeknownst to most people, Sharpton was looked at as a clown. What legitimized Alton Maddox was, what legitimized Sharpton was Alton Maddox. Prior to Alton Maddox, Sharpton was looked at as a buffoon. And I was at a meeting at Reverend Daughtry's church where all the leaders, G2, Al Van, Roger Green, all of them, Reverend Daughtry himself, everybody across the board was a thumbs down on Sharpton. One black man stood up in the room and said, "He's my guy," until proven otherwise, and that was Alton Maddox. Everybody in that room, all the leadership from all over the city, was mad at Alton Maddox for saying he stays. Everybody was mad at Alton, and I was just seeing on who all the players were. He didn't get any support from anybody else because they all said he was a clown and he was trying to pimp the movement because he needed to get his hustle on. and nothing else was working, and he didn't have no money. He wanted to get in with the mainstream, the main black leaders, and so he used these cases, and he would be the so-called spokesperson while Automatics was doing all the legal work and doing everything it took to defend all these people. Sharpton was in front of the cameras, and the cameras can be a narcotic. It can be a drug where you think you something you not, because the brains behind all of those movements was Automatics. And that's why white society had made Sharpton a leader, put him in a position to make him a leader. And now to a new generation, they don't know who Automatics is. And I'll stop there and let other people comment.
Sister Pat, if you can't give us some quick comments on the same question, you know, what are your thoughts of the Tawana Brawley case and what took place with UAM at that time?
Well, Brother Mike, he shared some particulars. And if you would admit me, I'd like to read something real quick, and then this will put all in line. What I'm about to read is, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the 20-year anniversary of Tawana Brawley's rape and kidnap that the United African Movement under the chairman Automatics put out. And I just want to read something very quick. This is something that he wrote 20 years after the fact, November 28, 2007. And it's very quick. Dear friends of the Brawleys, this month and year represents 20 years of struggle for the justice for Tawana Brawley, but is only a part of a larger struggle against white supremacy, whose roots are memorialized in the slave code. The philosophical basis for the slave code is positive law. Thus, might makes right. Blacks and whites must never share power, and it is illegal for blacks to enjoy any semblance of power in the United States. The status of blacks have gone from slave to serf to squatter. Today we are cannon fodder. This means that blacks have no right to either political nor legal representation. The right to vote is not synonymous to the rights of political representation. In terms of personal tenure, the struggle for justice for Tawana and the Glenda Brawley and family have been at the top of the heap. Tawana was the victim of a dastardly crime, but all blacks was the target. Her pain has become our pain. This is the object of terrorism. Far too many blacks are still unable to connect the dots. The struggle for justice for the Brawleys is part of the struggle by Phil Black to smash white supremacy. House blacks have already been in favor of it. After emancipation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a new class of blacks was created, plantation overseers. We erroneously call them black elected officials. Tonight, we especially honor our ancestors and our elders. Their energies and their sacrifice have not only given us a blueprint for our struggle, but they are also giving us the courage and the fortitude to continue to wage war on 400 years of struggle against white supremacy. No person stood taller than the late Dr. William Augustus Jones, pastor of the historic Bethany Baptist Church in Brooklyn. The struggle for the Brawleys was christened at the Bethany Baptist Church June 1988, when Dr. Jones personally escorted Glenda Brawley to the Bethany amid a police posse and placed her in a sanctuary for 40 days and nights. Now, the reason why I wanted to put that in is because Mike knows all the history and these things that he said. But this is very important to put the people in places, because the Bethany played a role on putting her mother, Miss Glenda, in the sanctuary. There was so much going on with this Tawana case, so much. Those of us who were able to attend the defamation trial, here's a trial that lasted almost a year, like 9 months. Information that was created from the defamation trial. Even the book that was written by Melva Hill Jackman.
Right, I have that book.
He wrote this book. We were at Masonic Temple in Jersey, and Tawana was there along with Dr. Umar. He'd asked if he could come and be with the United African Movement family, and we all attended. And we had this book from the author who. Let me just say this, like he said, Tawana, we're all the victims of this heinous crime to this young girl. Unlike this Me Too movement, those are grown women who allegedly made these things 30 years after. That was a child who was kidnapped, raped, and molested by state-sponsored men who was how Brother Mike said, these people was affiliated with the status and the interests of the people up there. Patterson, who name I share no relationship, but his father was, in fact, his father was the commissioner of the state prison. They're not gonna let their boys go under. They weren't gonna let their boys go under for some little black girl. Hey, get over it. That's what we were told. Still get over it. Okay. Right. Like brother Ray said,
Sister Pat,
we had to get away from this too much. It was too much for me to handle. But the real people who understood what was going on with that sister stood by her all these years. And I supported her, and a lot of other people supported her.
Right. Well, we got to continue this conversation next week because this is just too hot. And we just touching the tip of the iceberg because, like, again, I'm going to discuss the role Stephen Pagonis played in this. I'm going to discuss who Harry Chris is, what happened to Harry Chris. I'm going to discuss the ambulance driver who picked her up, the nurse who examined her. I got all of that. We got the footage. We got all of that. We're going to talk to the only descendant juror. We got Tommy. We got his testimony as well. So we're going to get back into this next week. I hope all of you can join us again next week.
Sister Keisha. Sister Keisha.
Go ahead, Brother Mike.
Just want to say just one little thing. Just remember, all of this occurred under the auspices of Mario Cuomo.
Come on.
That was the central figure that you will not see in a lot of documentation. It was Mario Cuomo who Scott Patterson's father was in charge of all the state troopers. And they were regular guests at Mario Cuomo's house. He was not going to allow personal friends to go to jail for a 15-year-old black girl.
Wait, hold on. Say that again. They were guests at whose house?
Mario Cuomo's house. They visited the mansion regularly up there in Albany, and they were house guests, personal friends of his. And the current governor was his chief of staff. Just keep that in mind. And you have to understand that the most controversial lawyer in the country was going after 6 white men to put them in jail. It's no way in the world the white supremacists that run this country was going to allow a black man to put 6 powerful white men in jail for a 15-year-old black girl. It wasn't going to happen. And these people that played a role in it are still around now. Next week, we can go into the sellouts and the collaborators inside and outside the black community. I'll tell you about the NAACP. I'll tell you what Sharpton and Mason and them did later. If permitted, I will tell you what they did. But I just wanted to make sure that before we leave here, you know that Mario Cuomo was the ringleader in giving air cover to those who raped her. I didn't say he did it, but he gave them air cover.
All right.
I want to add the FBI was also involved. The FBI that took the lead was dating Pagonis. And that's correct. There was a relationship with the FBI and her.
Okay.
And Pagonis. So the FBI was dirty. The NAACP, and there was another one that was involved. So we can go into that much more in detail next time around. The city site played a major role in providing the medical report because there was so much nonsense in mainstream media that the City Sun had to put the medical report with the permission of the family to let people know that she was not lying and we were not hallucinating. The City Sun was a major player in providing vital information.
Definitely. So again, family, we gotta have y'all back next week because our other guest is in queue, and we just pulling back the layers of this because it is important,
he's
critical that we tell our own damn stories because too many times others have spoken for us and they speak incorrectly, give false information, they don't give the whole damn story. And I'm glad that you guys are coming on to give us the details that were omitted, and still to this day. I personally sent a press packet to our own network on behalf of Tawana Brawley. So I know, the backlash, I sent it personally to Will and Jada. I personally sent them a press packet. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that next week. Ray, Brother Mike Ray, Sister Pat, Brother Magnetic Peace Tyson. That's my brother from another mother. You can shop actually with Brother Magnetic Peace Tyson on shop.com/Tyson. That is shop.com/Tyson. We're going to get into his business also too next week.
I want to say
we gotta go, Brother Ray. We really gotta go because our other guests. Brother Ray, I'm sorry, brother. We got other guests. So we're gonna definitely have you back, Ray. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have you back on here next week. This with the family. I think the next Professor William Mackey study group is next week, Wednesday, the 18th. I think I'll be speaking the 18th. So I think I got so many things going on, Mike. It's just crazy. But I love you, family. Y'all stay up. Keep it thorough. Keep it 100. We'll be with you next week. And I'll see y'all soon. Y'all take care.
Peace, family. And don't forget to check out Community Cop every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday on YouTube. Don't subscribe because let me tell you, this is a group of former law enforcement. You ain't gonna never hear law enforcement talk like they talk. If I rock with them, then you know it's all right. If they wasn't all right, Mike Graves will tell you himself, I will give them business for real. But if I'm telling you, Brother Tad is telling you, as a matter of fact, Brother Tad actually sat in for one of them, when they were on assignment sometimes. So with Brother Vern, shout out to the African Village.
Hey, you was on assignment with them?
Yeah, shout out to Minister Vern. Word. So, yes, again, I am excited for next week. We just started to pull back the layers of this critical and crucial case that took place beginning in 1987, and it led to a chain reaction of other things that happened in New York City. And as we have said on this platform, one of the most racist states in the union is New York. But without further ado, we have our other guest in queue. I'm excited to have him on. When I first heard the single No More, and he played it for me. I think he first played it for me Livewire when we were out there on the Brooklyn Bridge for Keisha. I think that was the first time that he played it for me. But we're gonna play it for y'all tonight while we bring in our guests. We want you to see the video because the single was just released. We're going to tell you where you could get it, where you could copy it. People have been calling me, messaging me. Get the hell about my message box because tonight you're going to have the artists themselves on here and they're going to tell you where they can copy it. But before we do, let's play the video real quick for everybody to see.
We are the hunted, subjugated with vehemence for pledging our allegiance to the sun. forced to walk backwards, praying to foreign gods with a borrowed tongue, always on the run, no rest for the son of man, staring down the barrel of a gun. Hands up, don't shoot, I can't breathe with your foot on my neck. He says, how art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me, thou art out of breath? You're next, I'm getting you before they do. Black on black crime is not a myth, but we need a savior, we endangered, Superman save us, cause we quick to scrap, we quick to fight. Blood drips when niggas get that kryptonite. I know my rights, but they have me in their sights. I'm good as dead. Bullseye on my arm, leg, arm, head. They fabricate villains to feed their system, feasting on human flesh. Capitalism creates victims. Corporation liquefying the dead. Life sentence for my train of thought. Can't mention all that I've been taught. Go missing, hinting at such talk. Kindred living being sold and bought. No kidding. Niggas stuck on Newport's hawk spit. Spirits caught in throats suspended. Vocal cords hanging off a rope, smitten. And those positions sitting across from God. Breaking beats to compositions while I just nod. Black is God, behold. Nega, Isambo. God is my name. Lay flowers like candles. No go ropes or chains. I'm free, son. See these locks on my head? No Caesar. Alexander is dead. Fuck, Trump with a long dick. Taste of your own medicine, disrespectful as shit. The revolution will be televised again. Fuck that, while out, youngin', do it for the gram. DG, let's go.
Baby, you're right on time for the struggle. Yeah. Hands up on the double. Brother, you're right on track with the pressure. One voice all together, singing over and over and over.
Time out.
We ain't gonna take it no more.
I'm not asking, can I live? I'm not asking, can I breathe? Now we can all live as kin, but asking is now disease. I'm teaching my own hood, not asking for your degrees. Y'all singing the same lullaby, trying to rock us to sleep. Protests, go back to peace. Brutality by police, woke sheep cause he the beast. Now we ain't sleeping the peak, contrary to your beliefs. My people just want peace and a large chunk of the pie. Now we don't just want a piece. 381, boycott them out of their crib. See Malcolm, he had a gun, and Martin, he had a dream. See me, I got both. In a world of people like me that's singing the same song. No M-O-R-E.
Baby, you're right on time for the struggle. Hands up on the double. Brother, you're right on track with the pressure. One voice all together, singing over and over and over and over.
Time out.
We ain't gonna take it no more.
And we ain't waiting for Biden. Bitch need 100 bills past Biden. Biting my teeth, I don't want violence, but America tired. It was y'all that summoned the storm of Poseidon, and now y'all wanna talk about riots. Some people just choose stupid. Stop asking for them to see the Star Spangled Banner. Wasn't broken on the man. I pledge allegiance to me. I pledge allegiance to freedom, to justice, equality. Remember I tried to kneel, you ain't listen to me, and now they burning it down, and now you wanna agree. And now Black Lives Matter, but there's a problem. Too many black people murdered with those police on the street. Witness a revolution. Together we can't be beat. I'm talking to everybody. Black, white, no in between. I'm not asking, can I live? I'm not asking, can I breathe? Fuck if you don't agree. No M-O-R-E.
Baby, you're right on time for the struggle. Hands up on the double. Brother, you're right on track with the pressure. One voice all together, singing over and over and over and over. We ain't gonna take it no more. Baby, you're right on time.
Good afternoon. What's going on, man? You're being served an eviction notice for this property. We need you to be out by today.
Not today?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
You got to take it up with the court.
Listen, man, so we can't go right now, man. If you can give us a few more days. The only way you can do that is through education. It is your passport to the world. You have to empower your mind. You have to learn and know the greatness you come from. Understand that we have traveled the seas way before slavery. Understand that we have been able to detect star constellations in the sky way before any European ever documented it. Understand that you have an existence that goes back to 2.5 million years before anyone else was on this planet. Understand your greatness, because when you know your greatness, you build to be better and do better. We don't need to run, we need to lead. We need to stand strong. But there will always be sheep and there will always be shepherds. Understand the role you play. You can follow like a sheep, or you can lead like a shepherd. But it's time to move forward, and you got to make a decision. The time is now.
All right, all right.
Yes, yes, yes. The flames, the flames, the flames, the flames.
How's
The
it going?
flames, the
What's
flames,
going on?
the
Peace,
flames,
peace,
the
peace.
flames.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, man. I'm gonna tell you, let me tell you, Livewire. Let me tell you, first of all,
Go ahead.
I got my workout regimen music. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I work out, you know, I think about killing crackers. That's just how I feel. I had to put that in there. I had to put that in there because it just made me go. I wrote when I left y'all, you know, I rode my bike 25 miles. I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. That's warrior music right now. There.
Oh man,
That's for the soldiers right there. So again, family, let me welcome y'all to Thorough Black Talk Radio.
Thorough Black Talk.
Us tonight, the artists, the flamethrowers from the new hit single "No More." You can get it on Tidal, on iTunes, on 99 Cent. Cop that.
Uh-huh.
We got Livewire, we got Randy in the building, and brother Carlos with us. Family, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? You know, this excitement. I don't know. You got me.
Yeah, you got me hype. I'll let y'all go first, brother Carlos. No, Randy, let's let you kick it off. Talk to him.
I'm breaking up.
Who's going up? Randy, you going up? Oh, you freezing? Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
I'm hyped now. I told Live when I did it, I said, I don't know what took you so long to recognize my fly. I've been waiting for this moment. Get on this video here. Because my brother been killing it for years. Livewire, this brother is super talented, man. When I tell you, I got so much love and respect for this brother as an artist. And to see what he's been able to put together, because this vision that he had of making sure this happened, this wasn't the first time we tried it. You know, we hit some snags along the way trying to get this video done. And when we got it done, magnificent. It's an honor. It's an honor for me to be a part of it. I gotta say, it's an honor. I love it.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, it seems y'all got it perfected because that is, oh man, sonically and aesthetically, the whole joint is on point, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it was magnificent, man. The message, even and the quality. I mean, I'm hype on all of it. I'm hype on all of it. I really am. Like I said, it was definitely an honor.
The videography of it is crazy, and it just shows so many powerful messages, and just the lyrics, just the intro itself got, you know, I know I got people drawn to it, you know, so it's powerful, man. Livewire is like he's a dope artist.
Yeah, I really dope artist. I appreciate it. I'm gonna jump right in. It's a collaborative thing. I can't take all the credit for it. Definitely a part of my vision. But it's just a beautiful thing. Like sometimes I like to take a step back and just look and listen from other people's perspectives. So I'm watching you. I'm seeing your reaction, but the other two brothers, I'm seeing their reaction, and I'm listening to the lyrics as if it wasn't me. And even I got chills in it because I didn't because this is Thorough Black Talk, right? So I didn't jump into creating music to be so thorough, to be so sharp, to be so you know what, the point, the fact of the matter, I truly believe that artists need to reflect the times. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are saying, you know, artists shouldn't be this and artists shouldn't be the face of that, but I still believe that artists, we it's our responsibility to reflect the times, and I just set out to make real music. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what you got, that's what you get, and respect it, because that's who I am. You get what I'm saying? I'm never gonna steer you wrong. I'm never gonna go outside of who I am. I'm only gonna reflect the time. So if it hurt a little bit, so be it. You know what I mean? You know it's for me. I listen to the show, and I, you know, anybody can't listen to this show. You got to have thick skin. You know what I'm saying? And some knowledge. And for me, I'm like, all right, how do I fit in here? But then again, taking myself out of myself and listening to the records and listening to the lyrics, I'm right there with y'all, man.
See, at the end of the day, my brother Livewire is a truth
teller with y'all, man. Real is real. I've always said, like, I pay attention to Farrakhan, and I've watched over the years, and I've played with the idea of, yo, should we be integrating or should we be creating self-sustaining communities? And it has such a negative tone, but in reality, people are doing it already. So why when we want to do it, or we take interest, or even mention it, is looked at in a negative way? I really don't get it, and I truly believe, you know, I in my heart, like I said, and my people just want peace and a large chunk of the pie. Now we don't just want a peace. I got love for everyone, but the fact of the matter is they don't got love for me. And ain't too much longer. That's what the whole record is about. That I can keep turning the other cheek. That's not happening no more. You get what I'm saying? I'm not willing to continue that over and over and over. It's just stupid. And if you have anything to say against that, we enemies. We enemies. Like it's no in between. And I have a lot of white friends that I kick it with, and a lot of them get it, and a lot of them are super embarrassed. But they're so minute to the larger scale of things, and it's like, look, get down and lay down, fight with us, or it's nothing I can say to you. There's no more time. There's no more time to ask and to be submissive. And no, this is what we need, and we need it now. That's it. I'm a digress.
But Brother Randy, the best scene of the video was the end. I had to sit back and I started feeling myself, at the end, that last scene in the video, man, I could watch that 100 times and be cheesing like this. How did you feel, portraying that? Because it's oftentimes, you never see in cinematography or video, music video, to say the least, that type of scene where you actually flip the script and put chokehold on the police. That's very rare that you would see that these days. So, what was it like for you to do that in this video?
It was empowering, and to be honest, and the reason I say that is because when I took that position, I'm taking a position of a police officer. I'm assuming that same authority that they abuse us with. So to actually be in that space, it was crazy. It was like, now your life is in my hands. The same way, our lives are always in their hands with police brutalities and killing of unarmed Black men all the time. So it was amazing to portray that. And I really felt like that in itself, when people see that, they're going to be upset by it. But then that's our way to communicate to the people, to society, to say, this is how we feel. Y'all sure as hell don't like to see a Black man on top of a white man like that, right? So how you expect us to, feel when it happens to us and we're being murdered like that all the time? When we can't breathe and, we're being shot down. So, and that's crazy. I got up and ran up out of there.
I love it. And then they had the brother Carlos at the end.
Carlos at the end with the powerful message.
That realness, brother. You gotta give it. What made you? How did you come up with that concept? What was you going to say and all of that? Because that sent chills to my spine, brother.
Let me tell you something. First off, I gotta say something. That scene that you talked about with my brother Randy, not only did it run chills up and down my spine, but I got to see it live and in action. And when he did that scene, what you guys missed out on, and I swear I wish you could have caught that. This brother was so into his role that when he was on top and he was, how's it feel to know you may not see your mother tonight? How's it feel you're not going to see your kids? Huh? How does it feel? Huh? And he was so passionate. We're all just like, everybody's just frozen, and he's in this scene. He got the cop on the phone. He's like, how does it feel? How does it feel? And when he's doing that, oh my God, you talking about?
Yeah, I thought about George Floyd. I was like, you gonna cry for your mother? You gonna beg for your mother now?
You had to hear. You had to hear him, and yo, that right there, that scene needs to be taken, and that something need to be done with that scene right there, that clip right there, because that's how powerful that was.
Yeah,
appreciate that, brother.
Yeah,
on 3 different occasions, watching that scene, you had people on the sides, like telling him he was doing, like, it was a great job, like y'all are doing great, but to hear that and great was just messed my head up. You get what I'm saying? It's like, this is our reality.
Yeah.
You know, like, appreciate, but wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our reality, and you're doing a great job.
And that's exactly what transitioned and inspired me to give the piece that I gave, where my first words out the gate is, this cannot be our norm. This cannot be our norm, because that's what I felt when I saw it. And just like Live said, with the people kind of complimenting the work, but do we really want to compliment? You know what I'm saying? It was like that kind of like, you know, your mind is getting messing with you, and I'm just like, this can't be our normal. And understand that you know, that inspiration just came from here. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't written down. It wasn't. I mean, Live, no, my brother Live, we got history. We got history. I mean, I don't want to go too far in, but we got history. College tours for like 20 years. We've been doing work in the community for years. Live has always been a truth teller, and you know, music is supposed to tell to give you a sign of the times. You know, and unfortunately, our music has been, you know, convoluted and you know, infused with a bunch of toxic bull crap. And now, because other people have been spearheading the hip hop, it's taken on from, you know, who you calling a bitch, you and ITY, to, you know, WAP. And you know, we just made a transition that just don't help us. But my brother Lava stayed true to the craft, the art of being a true performer and entertainer, and it speaks. The work speaks for itself. But yeah, this was high powered. Like I said, I mean, I loved it. It was inspiring. I speak, you know, I speak to young people. I do my whole thing with the whole panel of motivation, inspirational, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's coming out from the heart with that, and seeing Randy do his thing, seeing the eye that the director, the producer, audio had, I mean, a live vision that's come into reality. He's like, yo, I want you in this. I'm like, you want me in this? He's like, I was like, oh, that's about damn time, because he's been doing videos and I ain't getting my shot. I'm like, yo, I got my shot. What? I got my shot.
And killed it too.
Yeah, it was just powerful all around. You know, I ain't gonna lie, it was an honor to do it. You know, he inspired me. I'm doing more videos now on IG. You know, I've been inspired, man. I'm Alive. You got me pushing, bro. Once again, you got me pushing.
I've been seeing those too, Carlos.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yo, they like they turn into like morning motivations or something.
That's like, well, let me plug it. Carlos A. Walton on IG. Let me plug it. Carlos A. Walton. WALTON. Carlos A. Walton. And yeah, check me out. I'm trying to push a positive agenda. I've been doing this for years. Live already know, like I said, we brother shop on college tours for 7 days on a bus with like 40 young heads, and we get them out the hood. Livewire knows the stories we can tell of just going from New York to Atlanta, getting young people into school and coming back and making sure we get back in one piece. And we did that. We got damn near 20 years in, about more than 20 years. Live had to do it for 20 years, but I know I got 20 years doing it, and we just been making that happen. So Live will come on a bus. He got him hyped. He got him, you know, he got this one piece about dreaming he does, and he got the whole crowd, the whole campus be buzzing whenever we go on these college tours, and it's a beautiful thing because my brother can shine and entertain like nobody's business. Livewire, living inspiration via entertainment is what his name stands for. I don't know if you guys know that. Living inspiration via entertainment. And that's exactly what it is. I see my brother stand on tables and chairs in a heartbeat and get a whole room that looked dead turn
He definitely does. You know, from the beginning, you know, when he first jumped off, I've always been a strong supporter of Live. Always, 100. And he knows who I am. He knows if he was whack, I would tell him. But I have always been a strong supporter of his music. And like I said, seeing him perform, he definitely gives you 110%. That energy is always there. I want our family to go to Tidal, go to iTunes, get the single No More. You know, you got to support these artists that's supporting you. If they giving you that feel good, then you got to support them as well. Because if you don't, things can go left real quick.
Talk about it.
That's just 100.
We have to.
That's just 100. And so, you know, I've always, like I said, been a strong supporter of Live. And we definitely got to have you guys come back because I'm already getting text messages. Y'all got to come back because it's just so many things that people want to give you questions, come to you with questions on. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our program. But I love you guys. I love what you do. You know, Live. You already know what it is. You already know what it is.
I love what you do.
I'm gonna follow you on IG.
Yo, I love what you do. I clicked on and I didn't know what I was clicking on to. My brother Live said, "Come on to this show," and he said, "Come on, I'm gonna follow through." But when I clicked on and seeing the power, I was going back to Tawana Brawley. Like, I know that story. I remember that. You know, and thank God that this was able to go to Howard and to develop and still, you know, and still grow. And being an HBCU grad, I'm a Hampton grad, so when she went to Howard, I'm like, that's what's up. This is to getting the quality right there, you know. So you know, God bless her and our family, and that's so interesting. Y'all went back too. The brother went back to when Al Sharpton first got on. I was like, ooh, how they say he's spilling tea now?
Before we go out of here, I definitely want to shout out the producer DG, who originally sent me the whole idea about the record, and it was just amazing. He's actually a young white dude producer who was like, "Yo, I want to do my part." And I had to answer the call because when that jumped in my email, it was no way I couldn't orchestrate that and bring all the pieces together. So you know, shout out to him, just doing his part. You know what I mean? He hit me humbly like, "Yo, I know stuff is messed up. How can I? You know, here's my part." So him and Audio Films, the director of this. The video, he amazing. The video actually flopped a week prior. We weren't able to shoot it. I ended up going scheduling reasons. I ended up switching gears and going with another director, and this brother jumped on in less than 6 days and pulled this whole thing together. And it was just phenomenal. Me and him back and forth on the phone, and this is what you got. So I appreciate both of them. Appreciate y'all for having us. Thank you.
Now we appreciate you, brother, because that's a dope song, man, and it's definitely fitting for the times right now. You know, it's like a soundtrack for what's happening right now.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you. Please
repost. You can definitely get that single on iTunes, 99 cents. You can go to Tidal. Some of you have Tidal subscriptions. You can get that. Amazon, I'm telling you, you gotta have it. You gotta have it in your work repertoire.
Livewire LW.
That's right. Yeah,
all right.
In your life.
There's people right now that want to listen to that I shared it. You know, my IG family, friends and family, they want to tune in and listen to the whole song, bro.
No doubt. And I got young people listening to it too, because of my programs. I got a company growing forward, do the college tours and leadership workshops. I got them listening to it. They're like, "Yo, I'm sending this to my people. I'm sending it to my friends." And this is high school kids. I'm like, high school, you know, they loving it. Like the older cats loving it. Then we on the
got sent out the stores today, so you'll have to clean edit for those kids.
That's what's up.
Again, brother, thank you for joining us. Y'all stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing, and always thorough black. Got your back. 100.
Peace.
Peace. All right. Stay strong, family.
All right.
That's what's all right, fam. Let's close this out. Brother Tad, brother Ashe.
Oh man, you know, tonight was one of those nights I get to sit back and chill, listen to our. I don't want to call them elders, but I mean, in terms of the movement, they are elders because they have been doing this for decades. So salute to Sister Pat, Brother Mike, Brother Ray, Brother Peace, aka Magnetic Tyson. You know, salute to our brother Bomani on the check-in, no doubt. We're gonna talk about Premier MCs. You know, and definitely salute to Brother Livewire, Brother Carlos, and Brother Randy, because that song is fire, man. I definitely enjoy their energy and can't wait to have them back, you know. So hopefully to the listening audience, you were inspired by what you heard tonight. So now it's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true, and remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Brother Ashe.
Yeah. Once again, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Thorough Black Talk. Every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Make sure y'all follow us on YouTube, Thorough Black Talk, Facebook, Thorough Black Talk. And we're going to be right back at y'all, man. I think the discussion tonight was very powerful, especially talking about the youth, Tawana Brawley and things of that nature. And bringing it back in today's times, we got the young boy, Kawan Charles. I don't know if y'all talked about that before I got on the show, but Kawan Charles was recently a 15-year-old that was murdered in Louisiana. It happened over the weekend, Halloween weekend. They found his body 3 days later. And the police out there, they didn't put no Amber Alert out. It's a 15-year-old. They ain't put no Amber Alert out. They said he drowned. But then when they found his body, his face was dismembered, disfigured. You know, he had a knot on his head. His teeth is showing. And I don't know if y'all saw the images, but it resembles the Emmett Till image where his mother did not have a closed casket. She wanted the world to see how they disfigured Emmett Till's face. That's how this young brother, Kawan Charles' face is looking. They put the two pictures side by side, and you could see it looks very similar. So it tells you, it just goes to show like what's going on. What happened back then is still happening. Tawana Brawley, you know, so many of our youth. You know, we could go on and say that. So we got to dig deeper into that. And this is the importance of studying history. You got to know who these people are, these devils. These are devils we dealing with. Every last one of them is devils. And that's how we give it up here on Thorough Black Talk. Next Thursday, I hope we could get our guests back in here. You know, it was a powerful, powerful show, and we got a lot of things to touch on that we didn't get to talk about tonight. So this is your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer, and the battlefield is where you stand. Sister Keisha.
Again, along with what my brother said, we thank you for tuning in every week to Thorough Black Talk Radio. You could be somewhere else, but you choose to be with us. Again, shout out to my swap sisters. For those of you who want to help us, donate or what have you, we will be feeding the homeless on Thanksgiving morning or afternoon, I should say. A shout out to Aunt Marie. I love you. Brother Bomani, I love you. Sister Veronica, you already know what it is. Sister Marie, you know what it is. Adanike.
Yeah.
Nasa.
That's
the girl right there.
That's the
Brother Kev, Ray, Peace, Mike Graves, and Pat, they will be on again next week. So we definitely going to continue to pull the layers back on this Tawana Brawley case. And we just touched it. I'm telling you, we're going to dig in deep. Dig deep. So always remember, family, do it how we do it in Brooklyn. We keep it thorough, so you keep it thorough. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
Smile sometimes. Have a good week. And please, by all means, stay safe. Remember, we said in the opening, they will have that million MAGA march in DC this weekend. So all of our family in the DMV area, watch your back, your front, and your side. Stay focused. See y'all next week. We about to roll out. Again, thank you to Livewire, Brother Carlos, Brother Randy for coming through. And shout out to Voices of Glori. They couldn't make it, but we want to give them all the best as well. So good night, family. We up out of here.